We're talking board breaking today, so we're gonna go over our setup real fast and we'll start going into our individual techniques. So you can see displayed here, we have different color boards. It starts at white, goes yellow, orange, green, blue, brown, black in order of difficulty. So the darker the color, the more difficult it is. This is about a 5-inch board. This is about a 7-inch board. And then this is the equivalent of about one of these boards. And then you got 1 1/4, 1.75, and about 2 1/4, okay? So from here, we're gonna demonstrate just different techniques on the brown board. That's typically what we recommend adult males and teenage boys break. Adult females break blue. And then some of the kids that if you're getting a little bit heavier, 115 and up, you might wanna start challenging yourself with blue. This is pretty much our 12 and under to about about 70 pounds, and then less than 70 pounds, you're gonna be breaking orange or yellow. Always remember, once you start breaking a board, if it starts to become easy, you wanna try to bump yourself up to the next level. That's gonna give you the challenge. Because a lot of times you'll have bad technique and you'll be able to break the orange board, but if you go up to green board, it's gonna force you to get better technique. Now the one thing you'll see, these are breakable boards, this is a wood board. The one thing you'll notice with a wood board that's different from a breakable board is the line. So the wood board has a grain line all over the place. So a lot of times this is not gonna break even. This will break up at the top, it'll break in the bottom, it might break in the middle, but you're not gonna get even pieces. Where the breakable boards, they have the line dead center. So this really forces you to have a good accuracy when you're trying to aim, because I have to hit the middle of the board. Now if I hit to the right or the left, it's not gonna break because there's not a grain line there. So that is gonna be something to take into consideration if you're breaking wood or if you're breaking rebreakable boards, okay? In my opinion, these are a little bit more difficult just because of the accuracy element as we go. So let's talk setup real fast. We're gonna put some of these down. Just put those down for you. We'll take the brown board. As you guys set up, so depending on the technique I'm doing, there's a couple of things I want to take into account. You might have one board holder, you might have two board holders. Two board holders obviously offer a little bit more stability compared to one board holder, and then obviously 2 hands to 1 hand. This starts up in the ante. So if I go from 2 to 1, so if Mr. Booth steps away, so now Mr. Kenley's just holding it, this is gonna make it more advanced on my part, because now I have to have a little bit better accuracy, a little bit more speed. And then compared to this, if he goes from 2 hands to 1 hand, so we would call these like a speed break, so he's now starting to hold the board here. Now it's even more advanced on me, because now I'm taking in that extra stability element, and that's gonna get knocked off, okay? So this is a way to elevate your board breaking from 2 people to 1 people to then more advanced. So as we go here, there's a couple things you want to take into account as I set my board up. One, obviously I brought some beefy dudes, all right? So they're gonna be here, they know how to hold boards, okay? So they're gonna lock their arms straight, and I just wanna make sure that if I push, you see them push a little bit, now you're not gonna see them, okay? So now they're locked in. This is gonna give me the best chance to break my board, because there's resistance now. I make sure there's no give. You can see that, okay? The other thing I want to look for is where their feet are as a board breaker, because I want to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, but I'm also protecting my board holders. So depending on the technique, if I'm doing like a palm heel strike or a punch, I would be fine here because I'm not landing in between them. But if I'm going to do like a round kick, I might have Mr. Kenley switch his feet, because now if I round kick, once I get done, look where my technique lands. My technique's gonna land up there. So I wanna make sure that I'm not hitting him. Side kick, typically you wanna be in a V, and just some of that is you as a board breaker, and also your board holders wanna be aware of what's happening at the end of a technique as we go, okay? And then obviously with the setup, height-wise, you do want to try to make this as combative as possible. So, I should be able to break techniques from here without having to go, okay, all right, oh, no, it's down a little bit. That shouldn't matter. If I have to raise the board up here, this is going to make a big difference in technique. Now look at their arms, because now this is going to be very uncomfortable for them, and this is not going to, so you can see how much, there's not a lot of resistance. Likewise, if it's way down here, now it's hard for them to give resistance. So I might actually even tell them to take an E as they hold the boards, and now you can see, all of a sudden I have a lot better resistance. So if there's a big jump in height, you might have to adjust them. Like if it's way up here, maybe I need someone to stand on a chair, just depending on the technique. But you shouldn't have to move the board, okay, oh yeah, okay, that's good. That doesn't make that much of a difference. So this is the setup. Make sure you have this down correct so that when you do break your board, you're setting yourself up for success. And then like we talked about, as I get more advanced, this setup shouldn't matter as much because my technique is better. So I should be able to move faster, I should be able to strike faster, especially as you start getting into the more advanced breaks where it's just one person or it's one hand. You know you're delivering a very high quality, powerful technique in order to break your board as you do that. Good luck with your setup. Remember, train hard and become better than you are today.